everyone, and welcome to the Backstory with Tori Bailey. There's a lot going on this week, especially tomorrow, because we'll watch the changing of the guard in Washington, D.C. with the inauguration of the new president. Now, of course, the world is going to be watching as we transfer power from one elected president to another one. And hold on, looks like Mr. Zippy wanted to come in and say hello. Hello, Zippy! You always like to drop in, sweetie, don't you? Come here. Come here, sit. Here you go, darling. There you go. Awesome. You want to say hey to everybody? Say hey. All right. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, the world's going to be watching as we transfer power from one elected president to another one. And, you know, whether or not you voted for President-elect Trump, the main thing is that you as an American and all of us as American citizens, we got to exercise our right to vote. And that's something that a lot of people in the world doesn't have the opportunity to do. So, Zippy, you are just full of energy this evening, aren't you, darling? Yes. Now Zane's in the room too, so he might make a show. But anyway, we have that opportunity to let our voices be heard. And you know, our candidate may not always be the candidate that wins, but at least we do have that opportunity to go to that ballot box and cast our vote. Now, like most families, we as Americans, we have our share of squabbles and differences. But again, like I was saying, it's with our ability to enjoy our freedoms, and that is something that are dreams for many other people who don't get to enjoy the freedoms that we have as Americans. And we often hear tossed around the phrase, the American dream. And that's one of the great things about being an American is no matter where we are in our station of life, we have that opportunity to pursue and follow our dreams. You know, and I really don't mean to get preachy or anything, but I said last week that I was going to talk a little bit about dreams and how important dreams can be. And, you know, our history pages, they're filled with those who have fought the odds to follow their dreams. One person that really comes to mind is Dr. Ben Carson. And he has a whole lot of my respect and admiration because he's one of those true American dream stories. And like I said, our history pages, and it's not just public figures, but it's people who have had that dream to open that small business or have that dream to pursue an invention that has actually changed our lives. I mean, look at Steve Jobs, you know, and how much he impacted our lives with all of the inventions that he came up with. But one other famous person that really comes to my mind who said a wonderful quote about dreams was Walt Disney. Walt Disney once said that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And you know, if you ever get the opportunity to watch the movie Walk Before the Mouse, you really get to see the struggles that Walt went through to pursue his dreams to create the animation mega that he did. And you know, he also said another very famous quote at the end of this particular quote about dreams. It said, "Look at me, because it all started with a mouse." So, but the secret ingredient is having that courage to follow your dreams, because behind every successful dream, there's a story filled with trials and tribulations and worry and self-doubt and moments when you just feel like, you know, you're spinning your wheels and you're not getting anywhere. But that's where you have to dig deep and you have to find that willpower to continue on when all hope seems to have evaporated from you. And the thing about dreams is, to me, dreams come in two forms. There's that dream that just will not shut up. It is there every waking moment. It's there in your sleep. It's in every thought that you have, that, you know, it's that driving force that keeps propelling you forward to keep pursuing and to keep moving towards that goal of seeing that dream become alive into fruition. And then there's the quiet dreams. And the quiet dreams are the ones who kind of sit back in the background and wait until you're ready to actually hear them. They're kind of like a silent, a little whisper. Hey, boo-boo, be careful now. There you go, sweetie. Knock Tinkerbell over. You've got to be careful, Tinkerbell. She'll get some pixie dust after you. But anyway, they're kind of like a patient friend waiting for you to come around. And that's the way writing is. That's how writing became, I guess, a dream for me, is because it was that quiet dream that was always there in the background while I was too busy pursuing other adventures in my life, such as flying and being a 911 operator and pursuing a career and becoming a professional training officer for 911 communication officers. But it took the passing of a really, really close friend of mine to make me finally sit down and start putting my thoughts on paper and writing the scenes and the dialogues and everything. I had no clue where I was going when I first sat down and wrote my first rough draft of Coming Home, A Second Chance at Goodbye. But man, what an adventure it has been for me. I'm getting ready to release Love Made from Scratch, which is my third book, in a few weeks. And, you know, it's just like there's this well of ideas that keeps springing up as soon as one book finishes. And sometimes I can literally have like 2 or 3 book ideas floating around inside of my head. Yeah, it kind of gets a little crowded up there sometimes too. My husband says that, you know, I talk to all of the voices in my head better than I do him sometimes. But anyway, kind of getting off the track here. But the thing is, you just never, sometimes you know what that dream is, and then sometimes that you don't, it's just waiting in the wings for you to, hello Zane, I kind of figured that cat felt a little different. You got a little bit more meat on your bones, kind of like your mama. But anyway, and getting back, sorry, I kind of off track with the cats again. But anyway, with Love Made from Scratch, each character is going to face their inner fears and find the courage to pursue their dreams. You have Wilder, who is pursuing a late in life dream. He has, you know, done the career track thing, and his dream had always been to have a winery. So he starts Twisted Oak Wineries up in Dahlonega, Georgia, which puts, you know, him up in the Dahlonega area. And then you have the character Cass, who has always dreamed. She's very artsy and has always wanted to follow the dream of pursuing her talent as a professional photographer. But she's let the voices of other characters that have told her that she would never be anything more than what she was, which is a small town girl from Dahlonega, Georgia, to not pursue her dream. And then you have Thomas, and I've talked about Thomas a lot. You have Thomas who thought he had his life put together. You know, he was married, he has a family, he's been a paramedic all his life, never thought of being anything other than a paramedic. But when tragedy hits his life and just turns everything upside down, it really makes him begin to question his future. And then in that self-searching, he realizes that there's another part of him that has always wanted to pursue a career, will follow pretty much in his mom's footsteps of becoming a professional chef and having his own restaurant. So dreams are really, really important among all the characters in the book Love Made from Scratch. But tonight, before I leave you guys, I want to ask you this one question, which is, what is the one dream that burns deep within you? It is that one dream that frightens you, excites you, and dares you to believe in it. And do you have the courage to pursue that dream? Now, the backstory is not going to be with you guys next week. It will be returning Thursday, February the 2nd, same time, here at Tori Bailey Inc. on Facebook, because I will be visiting the place where dreams do come true, That's right. I'm going to Walt Disney World and spending a few days visiting some of my favorite Disney characters. So until the next time, and as my mama always says, if the good Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Good night and God bless and have a safe weekend.